iYip, now on iTunes.
On July 13, 2011, Wired Magazine did a review of a Sesame Street iOS app about the Martians. Remember them?
Cat. Yep. Cat. Meow.
The app was essentially just a soundboard. It had a section of yip sounds, which were agreement, a section of nope sounds, which were disagreement. It had some other sections, including a section entitled Yipsters, which was a bunch of hipster jokes, which feel straight out of 2010. I'm going to dig into the details on this app, but this is part of a bigger picture. Have you heard the term lost media? I've only heard the term in the past decade or so, but I've understood the concept for my entire life. Hollywood's first sex symbol was a woman named Theda Bara. She made more than 40 films between 1914 and 1926. Unfortunately, most of her films were lost in the 1937 Fox Vault fire. In fact, over 70% of all silent films ever made are lost forever. August 26, 1939, the Brooklyn Dodgers play a doubleheader against the Cincinnati Reds at Ebbets Field. These two games made history because these were the first two televised Major League Baseball games, and all footage of both games are lost forever. You've probably heard that back in the old days, television stations would play something on the air, and then after they were done, they'd erase the tape and use it for something else. Film studios would routinely destroy films because they didn't have a space to store them. And now we turn our attention to this lost Sesame Street iOS app. It's not comparable, right? Or is it? I want to tell the story of this one app to give perspective on a much broader problem. This was a heavily promoted app. They even put out a behind-the-scenes video of the Muppet performers recording their dialogue.
Yep. Yeah, man.
It is possible.
Put that on the internet today.
And in the video, they discuss the lineage of the Muppet performers for these Yip Martians.
We've been doing the Martians for a while now.
Yep.
I was doing with Kevin for a while, and Kevin and Jerry were doing them for a while, and they were all taken over from Jerry Nelson and Jim Henson.
According to the Muppet fan site toughpigs.com, you get a total of 144 different Yip quotes, which I'm guessing is about 130 quotes more than they've had throughout the entire history of their time on Sesame Street.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe somebody out there has a really old iPhone and saved this app on it. Out of all the things to become lost, this app seems relatively unlikely. It was made from an iconic brand, it was made with a budget, and it was sold for 99 cents in the App Store, so it was made for a profit, or at least to raise money for Sesame Workshop. The internet is full of Muppet collectors. We've talked about lost media, but this brings us to found media. In 1978, 372 lost silent films were found in an athletic center in Canada. Starting in 1903, the Dawson Amateur Athletic Association began showing films, and they had a problem of this ever-growing library of films. In the 1920s, they converted a swimming pool to become an ice rink, but they were having problems with uneven temperatures in the middle where the ice rink was because the floor of the ice was sagging downward. So they came up with a solution. They took over 500,000 feet of film on reels and stacked them up in the center of that swimming pool, covered it in dirt, and put the ice on top of it. And they sat there for 50 years because no one ever remembered to look for them. So maybe the app developer is out there and has a copy of this. But maybe the app developer went out of business. Maybe Sesame Workshop has it. I mean, I'm sure they save copies of their other games, But a game that's on a phone seems a little difficult for them to archive. They'd have to keep it on an iPhone from that generation and then hope that no iOS update gets rid of it. And then also hope that the battery inside that phone stays good forever, because at some point something inside that phone will die and that game is lost. The reason this game is no longer in the App Store is that when iOS 11 was pushed through, it changed all the games from 32-bit to 64-bit. Now, they gave all the developers 2 years to find a way to get their games up to code. And if they couldn't, the games were eliminated. This was an older game at that point, probably wasn't profitable anymore, and so Sesame Workshop and the app developer just took it off. So stuff still can be lost. What about commercials? Who saves this Coronet commercial? The company's gone. What happened to the master tapes? Are they gone? What about this clip? It was filmed by a fan attending the Dragon Con comic book convention in Atlanta, Georgia, over a decade ago.
Hello.
It has millions of views, but it could be gone tomorrow. Is this clip worthy of preservation? Do we need to preserve every app or every hour of Fox News on television or every blog post on the internet or every YouTube video? Do we need to preserve this video? Maybe we should draw the line above single creator content, but where does the line get drawn? This app was made by a whole team with a giant company behind it. And if you're thinking about lost stuff from video games, what about all the exclusive downloadable content that these games have, where you pay a little bit extra, you download something onto your device? Where is that content? Is it archived somewhere? Speaking of digital content, remember when I said that Tough Pigs reported that there were 144 sound bites on this app? They continued by saying, that brings us to the first downside of the app. Of the 144 sounds, only 78 come with the initial 99-cent app. The rest have to be purchased in separate expansion packs, of which there are 3, and they are 99 cents each. So what are the chances that somebody saved an old phone with this app and all 3 of the digital downloads? And don't get too excited. I'm not going to reveal at the end that this phone has them. This phone doesn't even power on. And I never bought this because I didn't pay 99 cents for an app, and I certainly wouldn't have paid for the additional $3. But man, I'd love to see that app today. I think a lot about the generation that is consuming media today. They live in a streaming culture where they don't actually own anything that they watch. This makes them as oblivious to saving media as the people were in the silent film generation. Most of the stuff today is very difficult to save. So this generation is going to continue to see their stuff go away. And they'll barely notice it, because there's nothing they can do about it. In fact, my generation was really the only generation that could archive stuff. We were the generation that first had VHS tapes. You may have heard about the lady in Philadelphia that archived hundreds of thousands of hours of television.
Marion Stokes also recorded TV onto VHS tapes, except she did it 24 hours a day for 35 years. When she passed away in 2012, she left behind over 70,000 VHS tapes containing countless hours of footage.
Luckily for us, there are 2 things that exist from the iYip app. We have these screenshots. Man, I'd love to hear those Martians say mustache. The app had a series of different alarms you could use. Probably the most unique part of the app was the Let the Martians Decide section. This was kind of like a magic 8-ball or a coin flip, and I could see myself using this if I had it. But the best thing we have is a 49-second clip by a YouTuber named Borg NLP. They showed us 1 yip, 1 nope, and they demonstrated the alarm and Yipster.
Coffee, 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 coffee. Cappuccino.
Hope you decide to become a member of my Patreon club. If you do, you'll get your own membership card, and then every single month you'll get the newsletter in the mail. Also in your envelope every month you'll get what I call the mini museum. It's an assortment of retro items that are going to bring back all kinds of memories to you. It's a club you want to join. We've got some new members: Jarrett Rusky, Awkward But Awesome, Aaron Wester, Al, Archer, Bucky and Oliver. Huge thanks to Carson Loveridge, Dana Snyder, Jason Evans, Jamie and Tom, Jen, Matthew Chapin, Mike and Jess, who are my second and third members on Patreon, and also a huge shout out to my big brother Rob. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you all. If you have any info about the whereabouts of the iYip app, please call the number on your screen. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure and archive it. And go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you next time.